Hey everyone, we are in your entrance slips here. All right, Unit 2, Topic A. We've entered the realm of the fractions. Again, if you haven't watched the video for that lesson 4 and lesson 7, it's one video there, but we combo them together. Take care of that first. For those of you that have, let's talk about what was in that video. So let's get ourselves to the entrance slips, and here we are, lesson 4 and 7, using the standard algorithm to divide. And what we wanted you to start to notice were certain patterns and certain techniques were appearing. So when we were doing the visuals, we purposely gave you common denominators. And for a lot of you, you started noticing that literally we were just dividing straight across. And that was it. And that's true. That works. That absolutely works. And then we started knowing patterns like with the whole numbers that you always ended up kind of like leaving the top number and then multiply and we started seeing these things start to appear, and then that's when we started to get into that, hey, here's how it works, because some of them are just going to be unfriendly to work with. So we want a technique that's going to work in all situations, and that's what we've got going on here. So in this particular technique here, all right, the phrase we use is we multiply, write this down, all right, by the reciprocal. That's the phrase. All right, multiply by the reciprocal. Now, reciprocal, fancy mathematical word, which means to flip the fraction. All right, um, so we leave that first fraction alone. We multiply, so we change it to a multiplication problem, and then we take the reciprocal, which means to flip the second fraction. Now we're ready to use our multiplication skills. Now, this goes all the way back to the review unit. My goodness, it also goes back to 5th grade math here, people. So if you're a little like, woo, I don't remember this part coming up here. Okay, okay. But for those of you that have, this is where it speeds up for you. There's your step, you multiply by the reciprocal. And if you go back to the notes, we've got all the steps labeled out for you. The next thing to look for was any sort of cross division. And we're looking on the diagonals. And oh, we can divide both of those fives by a 5. So 5 divided by 5 is a 1. 5 divided by 5 is a 1. All right. And then what we can end up doing is we can go ahead and multiply across. So 4 times 1, or 1 times 7, 7. Now, let's check it out. Let's go back. Look, we had a common denominator. So we just divide the top numbers. It's just that you can't divide 4 by 7. Well, that's why we have fractions. It says 4 divided by 7. So remember, fraction is really a division problem in disguise that we really can't kind of do in a way. All right. So there's your answer of 4 sevenths. Now, the thing about question 2 here is we don't have that common denominator. That's there. Now, we could do all the work to get a common denominator, but what we've, again, found pattern-wise is it makes more sense to rewrite it as a multiplication problem. And here's the other way of thinking about it. Dividing by 2. If you end up dividing by 2, another way of saying it is to take half of it. All right? Dividing by 2 is the same as taking half of something. And if you notice this, 2, all right, if you flip it, the number is really 2 over 1, it becomes 1/2. So that's the whole idea of, yes, you can take half of something, which is why it means dividing it by 2. So let's see here. So we've got 7/8, all right, and times 12/5. Again, we multiply by the reciprocal. We're looking for some cross division. Oh, it is there, people. It is there with the 12 and the 8. Now, a lot of students miss this, and I get it. I get it there because we're normally used to the smaller number just being able to divide evenly into that bigger number. What's the number that you can take out of 8 and out of 12? 2 works. There's a bigger one there. Yeah, 4. Divide them both by 4. So 12 divided by 4, 3. All right. 8 divided by 4 is a 2. 7 and 5, no cross division here. I can't divide them by someone. Remember, you're not allowed to use a 1. So if you're thinking about where are you getting these numbers from, how do you know to use a 4? It is your multiplication facts. That's where we're pulling down from. We're just pulling out numbers out of that 8 or out of that 12 and seeing what works. So if you need your multiplication chart to help you with your division, absolutely. So we can multiply across 7 times 3, 21, 5 times 2, 10, and we're done. Okay? Again, I know I'm done here, but I can't divide them by anyone. I can't divide the 10. I can divide by 2, but I can't do 21 divided by 2. It's not even done. I can divide by 5, but I can't do 21 divided by 5. So again, multiplication facts here. Other thing is if you handle your cross division, yeah, 9 times out of 10, there's going to be no simplifying at the end. So as long as you handle all that, keep that in mind. All right. So let's go to the last one that's here. Again, we're going to rewrite it 2/3 times 15/20. Okay. So now we're after some cross division that's here. I look at the 3 and the 15, and we can divide them both by 3. So 3 divided by 3, a 1. 15 divided by a 3 gives us a 5. Check your other diagonal. And yeah, we can divide them both by 2. I always start with the smaller number here. And the only number you can divide by 2 is 2. Remember, we can't use a 1 that's there. So take a 2 divided by 2 is a 1. 12 divided by 2 is a 6. Now we can multiply across. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 6 is 6. So again, this whole thing, if you go through your notes there, if you think back to your notes, it's all about patterns that are there. And that's why this multiply by the reciprocal ends up working. And again, I think this is a great way of looking at it, is reminding yourself that taking half of something is the same thing as dividing 2. And so again, we see right away that those are reciprocals. All right, people, that's what you got for today. Enjoy.